Welcome to 31 Days of Horror. My name is Aaron. I'll be guiding you through these 31 days of horror, 31 horror films, 31 days. That's how simple it is. And today, you might have guessed it by the friend who's behind me at the moment, Art. A bit funky on here, but he's got a bigger head than I thought Art would have. But you guessed it, Terrrifer 2, day 19. I think I wore the appropriate shirt for this day. Terrrifer 2 is a 2022 film. You can watch Terrrifer 2 with Amazon Prime or rent it at any other streaming services. How to watch Terrrifer 2. It is eye-covering time. However you cover your eyes or don't want to watch things, even if it's not scary, it's gory. So you just want something to maybe every now and then go, oh, I can't do this right now. I don't want to do this right now. You just look away. This is gore for gore's sake. And I mean that as a compliment because I think that Damien Leone would take it as a compliment. It's meaning to do gross things on purpose and push the boundaries. So you want to just cover your eyes. You want to just keep them away every now and then. Oh, another suggestion on how to watch. Don't eat. Don't eat before this or during this. I made the mistake of eating during this. So those would be my suggestions for you. Erroneous thoughts. So today on my erroneous thoughts, I just want to kind of talk about something that's on my mind about as I watch people have discourse about horror films in general, but especially since Terrrifer 3 at the moment is out in theaters. I really don't get hating on film or any kind of artistic means. Like, I understand, like, oh, that's not for me. I don't want to watch that. Totally understand that. But to hate something, here's what I typically do. If I don't like something, I just don't go watch it. Or if I didn't like it and afterwards I'm like, yeah, it wasn't for me. I didn't like it. But I don't like outwardly hate because I don't want to rain on someone else's parade. What if someone really enjoys that thing? I think it's fine that something's not for you. That's how I had to say, that wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. It was probably for somebody else. Someone else was going to like it, but it wasn't made for me. So yeah, that's my erroneous thought. Don't spew hate, especially on the internet. There's so much out there anyways. Just be like, yeah, I didn't like that. That wasn't for me. Here's why it wasn't for me. Give your own thoughts about it, but you don't have to hate it or send hate to other people. I don't get it. 1 minute summary time. Art, I've only got 1 minute to summarize your film. I don't think Art would be too good at this since he really doesn't talk, so he doesn't speak. So I will take the controls here and just give you a 1 minute summary of Terrrifer 2 so you can make a decision if you want to see this film or not, if it's for you. Let's do this in 3, in 2, in 1. So Terrrifer 2, not much story to tell here, not much to summarize, but here we go. It is about Art the Clown and him wreaking havoc on people, essentially. But the light story that's in there is there's a character named Sienna, who I love, and she's our protagonist, and it's kind of this good versus evil, that there's the evil that Art is brought back to life by kind of a demon child thing, and he's able to wreak havoc for evil. But then there's Sienna, who's the good, right? She's the superhero for the good superhero, but a hero for the good. So it's really a classic story of just good versus evil, but mainly it's about Art causing immense amount of gore, immense amount of carnage in this film, and how he's going to get stopped. Or is he? 1 minute. You're getting so good at this now. Now, my 1 minute review. I just have a minute to give you my review, my thoughts. I typically don't write too much about my review, just everything that's in my head. So then on the minute, just have like impulsively give you anything that I felt about the film that's visceral, right? Which I think is fitting for our man. He's very visceral. He's very impulsive. So let's do this. We're going to do 1 minute review. Going in 3. I'm kind of nervous for this one. 2. I hope I do it right. 1. Okay, y'all. I'm one of the ones. I loved it. I loved Terrrifer 2. I did not expect to love it. I knew all the things and heard all the things kind of ahead of time. And I was like, this guy's not for me because I'm not gore for gore's sake. But I really think that this is gore for gore's sake with fun in it. Like, Art is just such a fun villain. He's evil, but it's not like, I didn't feel like this kind of scare, this evil that like haunts my soul. He's funny and fun, and you know what he's gonna do. Like, you know what's gonna happen, and it's so like over the top. It's not real. You can tell it's not real, and it's meaning to not look real. It's meaning to be over the top. It's very camp in that way, and it kind of reminds me of A Nightmare on Elm Street in that way, because at the time of A Nightmare on Elm Street, people really thought it was evil and gory and too much. But really, Freddy Krueger was so much fun. It was terrifying in the nightmares, and he's terrifying. But there's a kind of like this duality or like this parallel between those two, I feel like. 1 minute, a minute and 5 seconds. Hope I did that right for you, Art. Aaron's experience. So this is my experience, my personal experience watching the film. And I'm going to be honest, I was terrified to watch this. I just heard so many things about it and people throwing up, leaving the theaters. It took me 2 years to watch this, not because I love slashers and I'm not scared of clowns. I just don't like watching gore and I like a chase. Like I like to have fun in my horror. And so I just was like, I'm not watching that. So yeah, I waited 2 years and now I regret not seeing Terrifier 2 in theaters. It typically might follow my gut, but I should follow my heart towards slasher. So my experience now is knowing all that. I was like, okay, Terrifier 3 is coming out. Let's just watch it. And I'm happy I did. And part of my experience though was, I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to eat some dinner. I usually eat some dinner and watch something. So I was like, I'm going to eat my dinner and watch Terrifier 2. And it was pasta. That was probably the bad idea with my experience. I stopped that very 10 minutes into the film. And I liked it so much, a day later, I went and saw Terrifier 3 in theaters. I couldn't get enough of Art. He is Art. I feel like I should do something special for Art. I really have fallen in love with Art. Yeah, so I want to do a little thing for him. I call this an ode to Art. I love Art. He makes me feel young again. He reminds me of my first love, Freddy. He enjoys what he does. He has fun with it. And there's no rhyme or reason to what he does. I enjoy chaos. He's misunderstood. He can be judged by the outside very easily. But there's a lot more going on underneath. He never talks, yet still you know how he feels. He's expressive. He lets his inner child shine. And if I saw him in person, I would want to hug him. Maybe there's something wrong with me. Stick the ending. Here's where I ask the age-old question, did it stick the ending? And this one's hard because it doesn't really answer a lot of questions, which I prefer in my art in general, just the film, not necessarily the ending itself, but like the film itself, like really doesn't answer anything, or does it really have to? It's not really its point. And now that I have a fuller grasp on the world and what it really wants, Damien Leone wants to create, I think it's a 4.5. Yeah, 4.5. I don't think it's a full 5 for me. I enjoyed the ending. 4.5. Aaron's category. Let's put this baby in categories. Gory. This is gory. Do believe it. It is gory. Even if you have a firm stomach and you're able to stomach these kind of things, you'll still admit it's gory. Maybe not as big as some of these people are saying of the things. It is gruesome. It's gory. It is shocking. Shocking. It means to shock. So maybe that isn't shocking to you because you know what you're going into and it is, so you're not going to get shocked because you know they want you to be shocked. So maybe it's not, but I would say it is shocking, the things that they get away with. Boundary pushing. This is a boundary pusher. This is literally, I think the whole idea behind these films is just to push boundaries with violence. And it's hilarious. I was laughing so much as me going, I was just laughing. Fun. I had a fun time, and camp. I was going to say slasher too, but obviously it's within the slashers. There we go. Gory, shocking, boundary pushing, hilarious, fun, camp. Those are the things you can expect from Terrifier 2. Stab again. Would I stab Terrifier 2 again? Would I see the film again? Well, if I watch Terrifier 3 the following day after seeing Terrifier 2, I think you can guess it. I would see this again. I miss Art. Maybe there's something wrong with me, but maybe if you watch my day 18 video about how I experienced horror, it was through A Nightmare on Elm Street for my first time. So they're very different films and they're very different monsters, different slashers. But it just gave me that kind of same feeling that people just being they were really against Freddy. They were really against Art. At the time, they were against Freddy. They thought that was like gory for the times, right? It was creative deaths. He's got some creative deaths. They have fun. They're camp. Both of them are camp. So maybe there's nothing wrong with me. I think it's fine to love Art. And I'm going to see Terrifier 2 again. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Do you like Terrifier 2? Do you see what I'm talking about with the Nightmare on Elm Street at all? How do you feel about people hating on Art? Not Art. Well, him, but like Art in general.